gosh, hi guys, what is up? I hope you are well, or as well as you possibly can be. Several things to immediately say. The first one being that I sound congested because I am congested. Hi, thank you for joining. I have a hella stuffy nose, but it is fine. I'm feeling fine otherwise. And I just want to say, if you have noticed that I'm not active on Instagram via my other account, y'all, it is because Instagram, oh my god, my hair is giving the girls confusion. I don't really know what to do with it. Hi, thank you so much for joining. I hope you are well. So Instagram, for some reason or another, disabled my personal account, my Jasmine Kylene account, which has just been, I've experienced all 7 stages of grief, and mind you, I'm gonna get it back, right? It's a very long process, and it has taught me so much about my ego and being ego-led. And the reason why I'm immediately bringing it up is because I think it ties so beautifully into how I am experiencing this new moon eclipse in Sagittarius that is fucking going direct on the 4th, December 4th, which I believe is Saturday. I think it's early in the morning as well in Eastern Standard Time, but I'm just going to immediately talk about myself. My Leo moon. My Leo moon. I'm going to talk about myself and to give you guys an example of how an eclipse like this can really bring about really karmic and fated events, especially with me being a Sagittarius rising, if it's affecting your identity. I'll talk about why this is important and then how it's affecting me. But basically, this eclipse, this new moon eclipse in Sagittarius, is part of a very long series of eclipses. Eclipses always come in bunches, and they're always full moons and new moons on steroids, and they always bring about very fated endings, very karmic endings, very it seems like divinely orchestrated events that may be difficult to deal with, but ultimately will push you towards just the most optimal version of yourself in the highest possible timeline. But it's very difficult to navigate when you're in it. So I just want you to know that a lot of a very long karmic period is ending right now. An 18-month karmic period is ending right now. But a new one is beginning. So there's going to be a lot of endings right now and a lot of beginnings. And I think that in itself is a huge lesson on how rebirth and death are synonymous and the same exact thing. And it's important to allow yourself to remain fluid right now. But just overall, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, if you're feeling weird, the only thing I can use to describe this energy is just weird. There's a sense of pressure. There's an oddness. A lot of people are very tired right now. This is just a weird thing to emotionally navigate. So if you're feeling any of that, that's totally normal, and you'll probably be feeling it for at least the rest of the year, because the December astrology is just absolutely crazy, especially because we have Uranus, I believe, squaring Saturn on December 24th. So I'm Christmas is gonna be hella emotional. Hi, my love, thank you for joining. But yeah, so first and foremost, I want to say that with this new moon being an eclipse, this new moon eclipse being in the sign of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a sign ruled by the planet Jupiter that above all else honors the truth of freedom. So if there's hi, my love, I hope you're well. How are you? I was saying in the beginning, just in case you haven't noticed, my Instagram, the way that this eclipse is manifesting for me is that my Instagram, my personal Instagram, fully got disabled and deactivated by Instagram itself. And the day before it got deactivated, I was on some setting these beautiful intentions for how large I'm going to be and what a big platform I'm going to build and how I'm going to live this really cool life, because I'm going to be this modern day Oprah that bridges the 3D and the 5D, and it's going to allow me to travel and wear cool clothes and meet cool people. And the very next day I was promoting my shirts, discount codes, and this article that I had written. 2 seconds later, account gone. And I was mentioning earlier, I experienced all 7 stages of grief, just desperation, shock, anger, acceptance. No, literally, I'm gonna get it back, but it's a very, very difficult process, and I think this is immediately something that I knew was happening for me, and I think it has so much to do with this eclipse, because this eclipse has everything to do with honoring our truth and recognizing in what ways are we navigating our life through the lens of truth and soul and purpose and core, and through ego and fear and attachment, and above all else, deep attachment to plan that doesn't actually honor the space that you can move through and build in when you just allow life to take a little bit of the lead. And so I think for me personally, mind you, this eclipse, I'm a Sagittarius rising. So this eclipse, it's really important to look into what part of your chart Sagittarius rules to kind of know where you're going to be experiencing a lot of these like uprooting and deep karmic cycles ending and beginning. But for me, it's my first house. So like my entire identity, I realized, was very deeply tied to my Instagram, and like realizing how ego-led I had been on there, how much I live my life through the lens of validation, and like if something happens and I don't document it, it didn't happen. But also just like, am I being led by purpose and impact, or am I being led by like how cool my life would be if I'm making purpose and impact, right? So I say all that to say that if any large lessons like that are coming up, and in particular, I would invite you to reflect on lessons that you were learning in May of 2021. May of 2021, me too, Sag Risings Unite. Another Sag Rising! I'm sending you all my love and all my support, because having an eclipse, having an energy like this transit your first house is so large. I mean, this eclipse is going to be hitting everyone, particularly if you have any major mutable or fixed placements. So Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Taurus, and then Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, or Pisces. If you have any major placements in those signs, you're really going to be experiencing a lot of karmic endings and karmic beginnings, and the fact that they are fluid and rebirth and death are synonymous. But there's so much to say. Just basically, if there are any parts of your life, I'm a Leo moon too. I realize my man is a Sag rising. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I really am. Because it's, that's what I was saying. So I invite you to reflect on what you were experiencing, the lessons that you were learning, and what life was looking like in May of 2021, because that's when we had the full moon in Sagittarius eclipse, and that sort of catapulted, essentially just like the universe being very blaringly loud on what we have outgrown, what does not serve us, and like ultimately what role we are playing in not being self-liberated in any area of our lives. You definitely want to look and see, like in your chart, what rules Sagittarius, so that you know, like for you first house, and for me first house, I think I was being really rigid with my identity and how I was going to experience my career. Thank you, my love, sending you. And then, so check to see if it's like ruling your third house, or if it's ruling your fifth house, but just like in any area of your life that's being ruled by Sagittarius, you're really going to be experiencing, first of all, a state of reflection with like, what have I learned thus far about what my truth is pertaining to this particular theme? Like I said, whether it's your voice, whether it's your career, whether it's inner child healing, whether it's divine masculine healing, like what have I learned about what it means to be liberated in this area? And now that I'm in the space of like a lot of things ending and a lot of things now beginning, how am I going to honor freedom in this space? How am I going to honor moving forward from a state of truth? Hi, my love, my Keeksy Weeksy. Thank you for joining. I also want to say that we have an upcoming Venus retrograde in Capricorn, which is iconic, and also like really kind of, it's a lot to navigate. So I just want to first and foremost say, if you are already experiencing, we're in the shadow period of it. So if you are already experiencing a lot of truth coming up centered around the relationships in your life, the ones that may be draining you that you haven't realized are draining you, the ones that maybe you realize you want to pour more intentionality to, and then of course, as retrogrades, especially retrogrades in Venus go, exes maybe resurfacing, former relationships, former platonic relationships, perhaps like severed ties with like familial relationships are going to kind of come up. The only thing that I would really say, and especially because, you know, Capricorn is Saturn led and it rules truth and justice, and different in like a Libra kind of way, because it's more so like the core and karmic truth of things. But don't let yourself be distracted and led astray by looking at things through a rose-colored lens, and know that memories are always sweeter because they live in our mind and they're dressed up and molded to fit a narrative that makes us feel comfortable. So it's important to look at things for what they are right now, and look at these relationships for what they truly are right now, and to just be really discerning about that. Yeah, same, totally. So truth in your relationships may be bubbling up right now. It'll definitely come into a peak when the retrograde is actually direct, which will happen, I believe, in like 2 weeks. But just right now, if you're already noticing that. And also, I want to say that Neptune finally went direct yesterday. It was in retrograde for a very long time. So if there's been like any, like this is a time where like angel numbers and just like insane like spiritual synchronicities are really, really, really like emphasize. So really pay attention to the way that the universe is communicating with you right now. And if you feel like the universe isn't communicating with you right now, set the intention to begin that dialogue with the universe, because right now, like with Neptune being a planet that rules spirituality and our relationship and our dialogue with divinity, that's going to be like super hyperactive. But it's also because it's moving direct. Oh, thank you for joining, my love. We're going to start to see things more clearly. So you've been feeling like, I'm just confused. I'm in this weird state of like blurred understanding of things. I don't really know what forward looks like. Same. Same. But with Neptune moving direct, we are going to start to see things more clearly, and we want to work alongside Neptune moving direct and this eclipse energy, not to take action or to effort in any way, but rather to really stay in a like radically honest state of discernment with your life, with your relationships. The veil has been lifted. The veil is God. That's so loud. It's like so blaringly loud. I'm dying. I can't even believe I'm able to speak. Like when I tell you my ass is getting beat, but I would invite you to give a really warm hug to who you are right now, because who you will be in the next 18 months is going to be completely different, and so deeply evolved and in a state of like, just like flavorful empowerment and like radical authenticity, because it is in this moment right now that we are really shedding so many layers. It feels like we're still in Scorpio season in a weird way, because like eclipse energy always has to do with like death, and this death, with it being in Sagittarius, is really centered around, and what areas of my life am I not liberating myself? Is it in my daily routine? Is it in my gender identity, my fashion identity, my self-identity? Is it in my career? For me, I realized I was really marrying myself to one idea of what my career was supposed to look like. And it was through a large part of it being taken away, aka Instagram, that I was able to kind of like be in the state of limbo and find comfort in being in a state of limbo. I had to take a nap today. Oh my God. I have been taking so many naps. That's what I was saying at the top of this, is that things maybe feel strange and you could be feeling really drained right now. Eclipse seasons are always just so overwhelming, and like there's like this weird pressure, but let this gifted sense of clarity with Neptune going direct, and let this eclipse that is really inviting you to look at like, how are you stifling yourself? How are you holding yourself back? How are you being ego-led and fear-led and survival-led and like attached to plan-led, attached to like an idea and narrative that you've built-led? And how can you like actually stand in truth and freedom and fluidity? I'm exhausted. For me, it's career. I'm wondering, what rules Sagittarius? Is it your 10th house or maybe your 6th house? I'll look into your thing for you. Sleeping so much. Yeah, you can tell the bags under my eyes. I'm fucking exhausted. But in an overall sense, let me look at my notes. A lot of karmic cycles, like I said, are ending. So if things are slipping out of your hands that feel safe and comfortable, let them, because these endings are bleeding into beginnings. This is really, I know a lot of astrologers right now that are saving all of like their new year intentions for tomorrow. It's your 10th house. Okay, yeah, great. So beautiful. So it's career for sure. Mentally well, joyful at the same time. Yeah, it's funny when you are able to experience like the work and the growth that you've done for yourself. Like an energy like this 2 years ago would have knocked me out. I would have not made it. But like, because I've done so much work on anchoring myself in peace and being my own home amidst like the tornado of life, I'm able to recognize like, oh, I'm good. I'm feeling these feelings. I'm feeling the ebb and flow, but I'm good. So I hope that you're feeling the same. But, damn, what was I saying? Shit. I completely lost it. Something about, damn, I know I read it though. Oh yeah, a lot of astrologers are using this upcoming eclipse on the 4th, this Saturday, as an opportunity to do new year intentions. Like they're doing like their new year rituals this eclipse. And I would really, really invite you to do that as well, because this eclipse has such a stark and potent, like almost like full moon energy of like ending and beginning, that like I think it's a beautiful energy to work with as far as like, what am I shedding and cutting off and no longer allowing to move into this new era and this new season of self, and also allowing yourself to be liberated by being really attached to plan, because being attached to plan, having a 5-year plan, having like, you know, all of these like really solidified goals is sometimes just a manifestation of like being so in a state of control because you don't trust in like the organic unfolding of life, or you don't trust in what it means to kind of like let go, right? Survival. Yeah, a life audit ritual. Yeah, that is the kind of vibe. Because like I'm saying right now is not really a taking action plan time, but rather a reflective and honestly discerning and intention setting like above all else, a release of what you've realized is kind of like being karmically and organically taken from you right now. So I'm sorry, I'm fully rambling. I'm in a state of such sheer delusion. It's insane. But overall, this eclipse is sort of like, it's because we're ending the Sagittarius Gemini axis and we're beginning the Taurus Scorpio axis when it comes to this eclipse season. It's like I said, it is within the same breath, an ending and a beginning. Really reflect on what you were learning in May of 2021, what you've learned since then, and what all of the truth that you've cultivated since then has taught you about what it means to stand in a state of like self-liberation when it comes to any area of your life where it resonates. Thank you so much. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Hi, my love. Thank you for joining. But yeah, that's it. I'll be back on my personal Instagram soon, but in the meantime, if you want to message me on here, if you want to share this so that people see it, because I won't be able to share it on my regular Instagram, feel free to, but I would also never ask you to do that because ew. But otherwise, please work with this eclipse. The energy is so, so, so potent. Intentions more than manifesting, and releasing more than action is what I would invite you to do. But above all else, like, look at who you want to be in this next new year, and rather than being really attached to like a rigid way of approaching plan, think about what kind of feelings you want to experience this new year. I'm off my regular Insta too. The thing is, this is something that's totally happened for me. It's just also challenged my relationship with control, which is totally this like Sagittarius eclipse. It's like, how can you release control and know that the most beautiful parts of life are bred from like an organic, spontaneous unfolding of it. So I'm trying to do that. This first house transit is just not, I'm fucking dying. But yeah, reach out to me if you want to know like where Sagittarius rules in your specific chart to know exactly how this is going to unfold for you. And just like I said, if there's anything comfortable about life right now, kiss it goodbye, because these next 18 months are going to be radically transformative in a beautiful way, in a difficult way, in an empowering way, and like a jaw-dropping, like reinstating your belief in the divine and the fact that this is all sort of like cosmically organized kind of way. So yeah, I'm sending you all my love, all my strength. Reach out to me, and that's it. Oh, also I'm in Florida again. This is my old room. So yeah, that's it. Anyway, love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.